Hello, family. This is Omar coming in live from my underground bunker in some undisclosed location. And thank you once again for joining me on another episode of my podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Supreme Court actually hearing oral arguments in a case that could actually overturn landmark abortion ruling in Roe versus Wade. What does that mean? That the court could undo decades of old precedent on abortion in the U.S. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. I'll be right back.
Thank you very much for listening to Omar Oropesa's podcast. Don't forget to follow him on social media, listen to his music on digital platforms, and watch his videos on YouTube. Visit the website omaroropesa.org to stay up to date with the latest information.
All morning long, I've seen all over social media of people gathering around the outside of the Supreme Court in favor of abortion, my body, my choice, against abortion, pro-life. There's tons of students from Liberty University out there, pro-life. Billy Graham Ministries, Franklin Graham. A lot of Christians out there, pro-life, praying over the issue, against abortion. So it's a big deal in the U.S. today. But the Supreme Court can actually overturn the Roe versus Wade ruling back in 1973. So I'm flipping through the World Wide Web, and I came across some articles because that's what everybody's talking about today. It's either Omicron or abortion. Let me see what it says here. The scope of abortion in the U.S. is at stake as the Supreme Court hears oral arguments in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health, potentially the most consequential challenge to the 1973 Roe versus Wade landmark ruling that limited government restrictions on abortion. The state of Mississippi will be arguing that the Supreme Court should allow it and other states to ban abortion after 15 weeks. More specifically, it's asking the court to strike down a lower court's decision blocking its 15-week abortion ban from taking effect. Passed in 2018, Mississippi's law encountered a legal challenge from Jackson Women's Health Organization, an abortion clinic that claims Mississippi's law is unconstitutional and should be permanently blocked because it violates previous court decisions on the issue. The court's 9 justices will be present and have the chance to ask both sides about their reasoning. For Mississippi, the state's Solicitor General, Scott Stewart, will be arguing in favor of the law. On the other side will be Attorney Julie Rickleman and U.S. Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar. Okay, so how might the justices rule? There appear to be 3 primary avenues the justices could take in deciding Dobbs. A majority of justices could actually strike down the 15-week ban, holding that it violates long-standing precedent in Roe and Casey. In doing so, it would likely uphold the idea that states cannot impose an undue burden on women's access to abortion prior to fetal viability. However, the court's more conservative composition, 6-3, since the addition of Justice Amy Coney Barrett, has prompted observers to downplay this possibility. They argue that the fact the court took such a direct challenge to Roe indicates a willingness to reshape precedent. So, whatever avenue the Supreme Court opts to take, giving any kind of green light to a state seeking to impose medically unfounded restrictions on abortion would likely embolden others eager to do the same. So more than likely, more states are going to jump on board. It would also mean that pregnant women, even though all news outlets are saying pregnant people, it's not pregnant people, it's pregnant women in Mississippi, have a far narrower window in which to access care, likely driving them into neighboring states where providers are already strained or obligating them to travel untenable distances to get an abortion. But if the Supreme Court were to overturn Roe, full stop, termination will be explicitly or effectively outlawed in at least 21 states. To put that in perspective, abortion would be unavailable across roughly half the country. So all eyes are on the Supreme Court. May God have mercy on the great US of A.
If you like this podcast, you can support it by sharing it and donating just by clicking on the link in the description. It would be deeply appreciated and a blessing.